Hi everyone, I'm Stephanie and welcome to my cross stitch channel, Steph.Xstitch. This is Flosstube number 3 for me, and today it is March 22nd. So I have 2 finishes to share with you all, and I think about 10 whips. A couple of those are new starts, one was a new start and even a restart. But first of all, I just wanted to say thank you so much for everyone who's watched my videos so far, who's liked, who's subscribed, who's commented. I wasn't expecting such a huge response, and it's kind of blown me away a little bit. I just appreciate it so much, and hopefully you'll all stick around for this one and future videos. So I'm going to start right off with the finishes. So this one is it was a printed kit, a stamped kit, called, well, I'm calling it Birds. It didn't have a name. So that one is now finished. I don't have a frame for this one because it's a bit of a long one. So that is on a 11 count Ada. So it has 3 strands, full cross. So the colours, I think colours are a little bit more orangey than I would have liked, but that's obviously how they come in the kit, so that one's that. And I just need to get a frame so I can fully finish it. And then my other one is one I started at least, I think, 5 years ago and I just never got around to it. So this one is from a kit by Janlynn. It's Cherished, Teddies, Dear Santa. I think the kit is from 1991 or 1992. Obviously this little frame comes with it so you can finish it. So you get the board and everything on the back to finish it off. So yeah, that is fully finished. So I've got a lot more of these in my kit supply, a lot of different ones, and they all come with the frames as well. So that's more to do. So that one was on 18 count. Yeah, 18 count. Okay, so here's my whips. So I've tried to do these in order of how I've started them originally. So this is my oldest one. I started this in 2021. I'm going to try out a thing where I pop like a description box on the side, just in case I forget some of the information. So I'll try and say it, but if I forget, then there should be what it's called, what it'll look like when it's finished, and then I'll try and list you know, like what materials I'm using, what Ada count and stuff. This one is in a hoop just because I was working on it yesterday, and this is the only one that I work in a hoop because otherwise I stitch in hand, and it's just so hard to get the tension on this right because it's if you watch my first video, I think I mentioned that it kind of feels a bit like wonky as I've stitched. So that's roughly what it looks like as a whole. I originally did this half, and yeah, I mean, you could probably see it looks a little on the wonky side. I have been told by a few people that will you know, straighten out once it's been washed and everything. So that's what I worked on. So I had all this already, and this, I think I'd filled in some of these little bits, but I basically filled in all of that brown, and then I've started, and that's going to be the horses, the horse basically. I mean, I'll try and zoom in. I don't know if it'll allow you to see, but even in this one you've got what is it, so that's a 2-strand full cross, and then one of the colours in this is 4 strands, 2 of 2, 2 of one and 2 of another. That's 4 strands half cross, and then another colour to make up the other bit of the brown. That is 2 strands of one strand of another half cross. There's a lot of different types, and that's why I'm still working on it, and it's still very challenging, but it is coming along, and you know, I am hoping that you know, I can finish it probably, I'm going to say probably in the next year, because that would be nice to finish off that. So I have a full, let me get it right. It's early. I have a few full coverages to share as well. This is I'd probably say the first one that I did. This is a photo stitch, and again I'll pop something up. So this one is currently at 9,364 stitches out of 12,100, and it is 77.39% complete. So I've decided that I want to, for April, I want to make this my focus piece. I don't usually do a focus piece, but I think with me having quite a few full coverages, I'm going to start doing one a month and give that a little bit extra time. There's not loads of this left because most of this section here is just one colour. I think it's 3799. And then obviously there's a lot of just little odd ones that I've got to go around and finish off a few different ones. So yeah, so that's going to be my focus piece for April, and hopefully I can get it completed, because I've got a lot more of the larger ones that I'd really like to start or work on more. So so this next one is Dragon and His Books by Pink Lily Patterns over on Etsy, and this one is at 6,482 stitches out of 84,008, and it is at 7.72%. Originally I started in the middle because it's not a full coverage, so obviously it doesn't go into the corners, so I started in the middle, worked up into the top. Most of the work I'm doing now is in the top, because this is like the top row of pages. This is one page, and then there's like a half page to do there, and then that's the top row done, and the plan is to get all that done and then, you know, work on the next and get it back to the middle and carry on from there. So that's what I've got so far. So that is that one. I will say that since I did my first video, I haven't really done a lot of stitching in the past week or so. I've had a few things going on, and you know, mental health hasn't been that great, so I've had a few like non-stitchy days. I'll talk a little bit more about life stuff at the end, and that way, you know, you don't have to listen to it if you don't want to, because I know a lot of people just like to you know, see stitching, so that's absolutely fine. So this one is Cute Elf by Stitch, I always get this confused, Stitch Patterns Design or Stitch Design Pattern, but as I said, there'll be information as I'm talking. So I thought that I would do a little bit of a festive Friday yesterday and fetch this back out. So poor little elf, he only had his face last time, so he's got a little bit of a body. It's not a big amount of stitches on it, but it's a little bit more than what he had. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a festive Friday or a seasonal. I'm kind of thinking seasonal Saturday, because that way I can mix it in with things like Halloween. So I'm going to do one day where I pick a project that's got a seasonal element to it and just get a few stitches in on that one. I just think that would be nice to keep at least one of the festive ones or something moving along. So the next one is I've been calling it UK Sampler, and I've found this one. I got mine from World of Cross Stitch magazine. It's an older issue, so I don't know what the issue is on there now, but it's an older one from a few years ago. So this is by Emma Congdon. Like I said, I've been calling it UK Sampler. I actually found that she has it on her Etsy shop, and it's called Love UK Sampler. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to link that one in my description, so that if you do like the pattern, then you can look into getting it from her Etsy shop. So I haven't done a very big amount on this. I just basically filled in the rest of the grey, and then I've started on the green. I wasn't going to show this, but I thought, well, I still stitched on it for one day, so I may as well add it. One thing I have realised that I've forgotten to do is take the before pictures. So obviously I will, from today, take the pictures after I've finished doing this video, so that when I make my next one I can show you what it looked like before and then what it looks like as you're seeing it that time. At the moment I'm considering doing the videos about 3 weeks apart, just so that, you know, there's a good amount of stitching to share. Just because I'm, as I will mention towards the end, as I'm gonna have a lot more free time at the moment, so I'm just thinking that every 3 weeks is probably going to be quite a good amount to share. So this is my first Haid. So this is Mini Flower Girl by Heaven and Earth Designs. Artwork is by Michelle Serretta, and the chart is Heaven and Earth Designs. So this is the mini one. So that is what I have so far on that one. You can see I've really organised today. I've tried to get them all nice and folded over, ready to share. It's very difficult when you have all this big material. And as I said, I stitch in hand as well, so it's very rolled up and I have to kind of unroll it and everything. So these are basically some of the things that I use. So hair clips, just because I actually saw someone on Instagram that had their parked threads, you know, stuck with a hair clip, and I thought that was a really good idea. I have some of these sewing clips, and I also use, I think they're called towel grips or towel clips or something like that. And that's kind of how, so as I'm stitching I will have that and then, you know, work on a piece. So that's kind of what supplies I use. Get this the right way. There we go. So the next one is Mini Boho Seaside View by Amy Stewart, and this is another Heaven and Earth Designs one. So that is what I've got there. And I started this one as part of a birthday stitch along that I heard about from the Sleepy Stitcher, which is to do a colourful project, so I thought this was a nice colourful one. So that's that one. And then we get on to the new start. So this new start, this one, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I had a lot of problems with this one. As this is a bigger piece, I think it's 450 by 450 or 400 by 400. So it's, for me, it's the biggest one that I've done. So I decided, instead of doing a 16 or an 18 count, which is the dragon is on 16 count and the boho and the flower girl are on 18 counts. Excuse me. So yeah, so I decided that I would try something different, and being this is the bigger one, I thought that I would try a 20 count. I went for the easy grid, so I thought, you know, that'll be fine. So difficult for me anyway. I originally got a start, which I will pop a picture up to show you. I started originally in the top left. I did it 1/1. I felt that the coverage wasn't great. I could see a lot of the white and I wasn't really happy. Instead of just picking a different part of the chart and doing 2/2, I decided I was going to unpick all of the 1/1, redo it all in 2/2. Realised about the same amount in. It was very bulky. I didn't like it. And I was going to have to go back to 1/1. So I unpicked some of it, left the rest of it because it was mostly a dark colour. I just could not get on with it, and I decided I'm going to have to put this to one side and get an 18 count fabric and start again. So I did that. And I get my large pieces of fabric from Cross and Crafts on Etsy, and her Abby's, you know, customer service is great and the delivery is really fast, and obviously I managed to get this restarted within a week of stopping it, which was really good. And this is now on 18 count, and I thought I don't want to stitch all of that section for a third time, so I am trying something a little bit different, and I'm started in the top right hand corner. I'm left-handed, so I'm not finding that this is as easy for me because I have a lot of the material bunched up, so I'm having to kind of like have the material here while I'm stitching. So what I'm thinking of doing is trying to work back across, and then when I get back to the left, just kind of work as I usually would. But it was nice to have a change, and it's now I know that I'm not really a big fan of from, you know, starting from the right. So this is Angelic by Stitches So Beautiful, and the artwork is Eda Jose Rosa. And I haven't, as I said, because I've had to restart this, I haven't had a lot of stitches on it, unfortunately. So this has only had 877 stitches out of 160,000, so I'm going to have to get a lot more stitches in. This is 0.55% complete. The good thing with this one is on Stitches So Beautiful's Facebook group, they have a monthly challenge that if you can stitch 250 stitches per week, at least 250 stitches, and then every Monday you upload your progress, and I think you get entered into a prize draw or something like that. I've not taken part before, so this is my first time doing it, so I'm not quite sure of the rules 100%. But so yeah, so I just about got my stitches in, unless I do some today or tomorrow, which I probably will. So that's where I am at the moment. I just remembered, I think, that for the boho, I don't think I told you the stats. Actually, I might not have told you the stats for any of them. Oh, it's very early. I thought I'd do it early, but okay. So this one, so the boho, it had 1,406 stitches out of 75,400, and it is 1.86% complete. And then, just in case I hadn't told you this one, so the flower girl was 2,599 stitches done out of 105,625 stitches, and that is at 2.46%. Like I said, you can tell I'm new at Flosstube and it's early, but we'll get there eventually. I feel like I might be looking in the camera a little bit better than I have done on the others, so we'll get there. Okay, so my next new start is part of a stitch along that I heard about from the Story Stitcher, and this is to celebrate Jane Austen's 250th birthday. So it is a piece either that is based around Jane Austen, based around one of her novels, or it's something that reminds you of one of those. With me having, you know, so many projects, I wanted just to start something quite small, and I managed to find a pattern on Etsy from the Prim Stitcher shop, and obviously all of this will be linked and everything. This is called Bewitched Me, and I'm using just a random piece of tea-dyed Ada that I had. I have changed the colours from what the pattern showed. Nothing wrong with the colours in the pattern, it's just I wanted to just pick some random ones and make it a little bit springy. I don't think you can see the yellow flowers, so I might have to maybe backstitch those at the end, perhaps. I'm not too sure. we'll see what it looks like once it's all done. So as I said, there'll be information up to see what it, so you can see what it looks like. I think it's going to come to about here. The masking tape is because I didn't work out my piece of fabric, and as you can see I don't have very much left on the end, so that is just to protect the edges. You may have noticed that I actually use this on all my projects. It is basically, in the UK it's classed as masking tape. I have seen a few videos in the US and I think people have referred to something similar that they use, and it's painter's tape, so I don't know if that's the same thing. It's basically like a paper type tape. It's not like sellotape, it's like a paper tape. And I have, you know, tested it beforehand on lots of projects, and I've taken it off and it doesn't leave any residue, or it doesn't damage the work. Obviously the only thing I would say is make sure you don't apply heat, so don't try and iron it when you've still got it, because it will obviously then just go all gunky and sticky. And but yeah, I use that because I obviously try and protect the edges, and I'm too lazy to try and hand stitch around, and I don't have a sewing machine, so I think that works for me. And the tape actually stays on, you know, that Gracious Eras. Like I said, I started that in 2021 and the tape is still there, and I've tried peeling it off a few times just to make sure over the last few years, you know, every so often I'll peel a section off just to make sure it's not damaging the blue either, and it's absolutely fine. So that works for me. And the last one I have to share with you today, as I said, I haven't got the most stitching in the last few weeks. This is a stamped kit that is called Goose, Goose, Goose. I felt like this was a really nice springy piece because of the colours, so I can show you this just because most of it is done. So everything is done and stitched apart from the yellow, which is going to be this green. So yeah, there's a lot of stitches to do. The good thing with this, because it is a 11 count and it's just now going to be stitching that in one colour, it makes it a really easy stitch. So I've just been basically doing that while I've been watching things, and then obviously once all this is done I'll rinse it and then I will have a finish. So hopefully I might have this one to share with you by next time finished as well, so that would be really nice. So yeah, so that is all of my stitching from Flosstube 1. You know, that's what I've done since Flosstube 1. I wanted to do a few Stitchy shout outs now. The first one is for Lindsay over at Stitching Magic 111. She's a new Flosstuber from the UK, and she very kindly gave me my first shout out, which was such a lovely surprise. So I wanted to return the favour and give her a shout out. So that's that. If you haven't found her channel yet, then please go over and have a look and support her. And then I have a few others that feature quite a lot of full coverage, so if that's something that you're interested in, these ones might be good to check out. So first of all, I have Cross Stitch Mad Sarah. She does a mixture of projects a little bit like me, so some of them are full coverage, some of them are not. Stace Stitches 92. She is so fast. She does full coverage, but like her stitching is, I've watched all of her videos now and she like stitches so much in between each one. And you get her cat making a lot of appearances, so if you're a cat lover then definitely go and find her curious cat with stitching. And in Stitches with Ebony, I'm currently working through her videos, and she does a lot of full coverage also. So yeah, go and check her out if you haven't already. And another one is, who's not UK, because all of those are actually UK Flosstubes. So this one is in America now, and this is Natasha, and she is the Dopamine Stitcher, and she has a lot of aids, like a lot of full coverage, and like her system for working them out is really good. Like I haven't even considered trying to work out how many stitches I would need and how many years it would take. So I think her strategy is really good on how she does her projects. So if you do like bright, colourful, full coverage pieces, then go and check her out. So that is all my Stitchy shout outs for this time. So yeah. So I have some Stitchy plans. Even though we're only in March, I am aiming to do a birthday stitch along for August. I have a chart in mind that I've been looking at for a really long time, and it's got a lot of green in it. Now, you already noticed that I have a lot of full coverages that seem to have a lot of green in them. So the way that I'm justifying starting this next one is the birthstone for August is a peridot, which is green. So my plan is to do a stitch along with a piece, so anyone can obviously join in, and it will be work on a piece that has green in it. So that, you know, that could be a flowery piece, that could be a landscape scenery piece, it could be all sorts of things. So I will obviously get more details about that. I will go into more details about that further in the year. I'll pop up a picture of the design that I'm planning to purchase for my birthday start, and it's called Oriental Fantasy. The artwork is Esmira and it's on Pain Free Crafts, so that's going to be one that I purchase. So I haven't gotten it yet because I think if I get it then I want to start it, so that's definitely going to be my birthday start in August. So if anyone would be interested in that, then obviously please let me know. And then yeah, and then so that's an excuse for everyone to have a August new start if you didn't need an excuse. So so that's one plan. I have a few full coverage charts that I've purchased recently, but I don't really want to start too many, so I need to try and figure out some kind of rotation now for my whips, and yeah, and try and figure something out there. And that's about it really, just birthday start and more new starts, which I mean I think all of us probably do that. So yeah, so I think that would be it. I always seem to struggle when I get to this point in the video, so I apologise for that. And so yeah, I'm going to give a little bit of a life update now, just which I think is helpful to a Flosstube. I think it just helps you get to know me a little bit. So if you wanted to just see the stitching, then thank you so much for watching this far, and hopefully you'll consider subscribing and popping back in a few more weeks when I upload a fourth Flosstube. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all again soon. And if you are still here, then I'll just quickly go into a few details. So I mentioned in my other Flosstubes that I have a broken ankle currently. I did it in January. I fell when we had some snow and ice here, and it was a situation where I was walking through a public shopping centre, and it hadn't been cleared very well, and I fell because I slipped. It's been really frustrating because obviously it wasn't my fault. I was careful, and trying to get the management of the shopping centre to get some kind of response has been non-existent, so that's not been great overall. So anyway, yeah, so at the time I thought that I had sprained the ankle, it was very, you know, very swollen, very bruised. My GP kind of confirmed that it was sprained, going on as you know, carrying on, not really able to walk, in pain. Got to a point where I had to go to A&E because it was just, I was struggling too much, and I was like, something's not right. X-rayed, turns out broken in the ankle. So obviously I had a month where it was untreated. You know, I hadn't realised, and I'd been trying to walk around on it, wondering, you know, at the time why it hurt so much. So obviously that kind of feels like it set me back quite a bit. So obviously I've been getting regular x-rays done, and I found out a couple of days ago that it's not healing as fast as it should be for the age that I am. So that was a little bit of a knockback, because now obviously my recovery is going to be even longer. I've had to have some blood tests in case I've got an issue, like a vitamin issue, a deficiency. So I've got that on the go. So yeah, so the last week hasn't been a great one. It's been my mental health's not been the best. I mean, we're going into a 4th month now of this year, and obviously I'm still struggling, and not able to do very much at all, which is why there's, you know, I'm doing so much stitching. So hopefully, you know, at least I'll keep having that I can enjoy. But yeah, so that's basically my life update. It's something now that's obviously starting to affect my mental health just a little bit, because I can't really get out and about very much. I can get to my local shop, and even that's a struggle. And you know, I haven't been able to go to work for all of this year, so we're, you know, heading into a 4th month now. So yeah, it's just one of those where it's a little bit of a struggle at the moment. I've been watching lots of Flosstube, trying to stitch a lot, stitch every day mostly, and yeah, it's just one of those, I suppose. But it's just very frustrating, and I just really hope that it doesn't affect my stitching mojo, because there have been a few non-stitchy days because I haven't really felt like it, so we'll see for next time. But yeah, I'm planning to try and record at the moment every 3 weeks, just because I have more free time. So I may as well, because I'll probably stitch more in between each one. And yeah, that's everything. So I will see everyone hopefully next time. And as I just mentioned, I would love it if you would consider subscribing. It'll make me, you know, really want to keep going, and I can you know, see what people are enjoying with my videos. Yeah, and then I'm also over on Instagram at Steph.Xstitch, and I do show a lot of progress in between the videos. So if you'd like to follow me over there, I will follow you back. And I will see you in a couple of weeks. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all of the support, and welcome, oh my god, I can't even get my words out, welcoming me to the Flosstube community, and I will see you all in a couple of weeks for some more stitching progress. So happy stitching, everyone. Have a good weekend, and I will see you all soon. Alright, bye.